You know, it never fails. Sometime throughout the year, there's going to be a game that's going to be harder than normal. And every year, gaming journalists are going to complain about it and say, we need easy modes because reasons. So let's just go ahead and get into it, shall we? So, IGN over here is exploring whether or not Sekiro, I'm not gonna lie, I can't pronounce it. Anyway, whatever this game is called, needs an easy mode. It's a newer game. Looks like something I would really enjoy playing. But according to IGN, it needs an easy mode because it's a little bit too hard. Yeah. So we're just gonna go through this. We're gonna look at three things. This IGN video of them going, we need an easy mode for inclusivity reasons. And then I'm going to show two other people who are disabled. You know, one is blind, playing The Legend of Zelda. By the way, he beat it too. I think it took him 5 years to do so. And then a quadriplegic who is playing the exact game that they say needs an easy mode because disabled people can't play it, essentially. That's the crux of their argument. So let's just go into this, shall we?
There is a lot of discussion happening in the gaming community right now about Sekiro and the Dark Souls games.
Sekiro. Okay, there we go. It's by the same people who made Dark Souls, so I expect it to be somewhat hard. I mean, that's just sort of a given. But that's just me. Maybe these people thought, oh, they're making another game that's not Dark Souls, therefore it's going to be somehow easier, I guess. I don't know.
Or not, they should include an easy mode. And people have opinions. Fans of these...
Yes, people do have opinions. Apparently game journos say it needs an easy mode, while everybody else in the gaming community is like, no, it's fine as it is. For the most part.
Games feel pretty strongly that their difficulty is part of their DNA, and that overcoming their mini challenges is a badge of honor. A badge that then creates a community around these games. There's also the argument...
And that is absolutely right. I mean, honestly, I don't disagree with him right here, because that is a thing. With most games, there's usually a small community around it. Whether the game was big, not big, you can usually find some kind of cult community around some of these games. You know, various games come to mind, like the Persona series. It's not like huge, but it does have a cult following. Especially, you know, the other games, same company. And I can't pronounce it for whatever reason. Shin Megami Tensei? Yeah, anyway. And then you've got things like Mega Man Legends and other stuff. They weren't like blockbuster games, but they have their nice, you know, small communities that, you know, follow it. And generally, when a game like that is created, it's generally for, I'm going to let you in on a hint, fans. It's for the fans of the game.
You meant that the artist, in this case developer From Software, isn't beholden to anyone to compromise its artistic vision. If its vision is to create a difficult experience, so be it. On the other hand,
and that too, we agree with. Yay. But on the other hand,
that difficulty is a turnoff for some people who argue that many more gamers would be able to enjoy these games if there was an easier difficulty. We here at...
Well, see, here's the thing. Whether or not you enjoy the game is purely subjective. Literally. I have picked up games that I have felt like they were lemons in the past. I hated them. I felt like I had, you know, I straight up had buyer's remorse after plugging it in and playing it. It's not been many games, but it has been a few that I kind of wish I didn't spend the 20 or 30 bucks on. But just because I didn't like it doesn't mean that other people don't. And the game doesn't necessarily mean it's designed with me in mind. It's designed for a wide variety of people. You can go out and you can buy it, so anybody can technically access these games. They just need something to play it on, and they have to go out and purchase the game. There's nothing keeping them from, you know, purchasing said game. But yeah, let's continue.
At IGN have our own opinions on the matter.
Look, I love From Software. I think they're an important and singular developer, but part of what I love about their game...
We love it, but we're going to contradict ourselves, aren't we? I've actually not seen this video yet, so I can just feel that that's what's going to happen. I love what you do, however, do you think you can't do it? I have a feeling that's the argument we're about to make, right?
Games is their extreme difficulty, and I recognize that their games aren't necessarily for everyone. I think inclusivity and accessibility are extremely important in modern gaming. With Sekiro, there are a number of things that have never been in a From...
Anyway, that is where we will, we will definitely
With
differ.
Sekiro, there are a number of things that have never
Where was
been
it?
love about their games is their extreme difficulty. And I recognize that their games aren't necessarily for everyone. I think inclusivity and accessibility are
Inclusivity and accessibility
extremely important in modern gaming.
are not important in modern games. I mean, he says they're extremely important in modern games. I understand that, but for my perspective, from me, no, they're not. You don't have to want, or you don't have to be able to beat this game. I'm sorry, it's not a requirement that you buy this game, this product, and you suddenly should be able to beat the thing by pressing one button constantly. Or whatever it is, because of special modes or something. Games, pretty much I think we've all decided at this point, like art. TV is art, movies is art, art is art, you know, sculptures, paintings, video games. It's a different kind of art, you know. You've got like an interactive medium here. You get to play and experience a story through and everything else like that. However, it does not need to be inclusive, and it can be exclusive. There's nothing wrong with that. If one company wants to make this particular kind of game that markets towards this, you know, subsect of subsects or whatever, you know, this particular group of people, you know, more power to them. You know, I understand you guys are going to use this argument with games like this, is that it should be available for everybody. You know, it's very important, but then we start going, well, if that's the case, then everything needs to be made to be rated E. This way everybody can play it, because we're going to have to bring down that age rating, because if we want to actually follow, you know, rules, regulations, and everything, games have ratings on them, which exclude people who are younger. So if we're going to really want to sit there and try and make this argument that all these games need to be as inclusive as possible, somebody really needs to go ahead and go out there and go like, we need to make all video games rated E for everyone. You know, this way everybody, but then of course somebody could make the argument, well, what about early childhood? What is that, rated EC? We need to bring it down to that level. That's just a ridiculous argument. It's just a ridiculous everything. That entire thing. But point is, you know, if some particular company wants to make a game of, like, I don't know, Barbie and market it towards young girls, more power to them if they're selling and making a profit off of it. I'm not going to come in and say, you know, this game just, it's not made for me. It excludes me and everybody else who doesn't fall into that subsector that you're trying to market to. You need to fix that. That's ridiculous. That is stupid. You know, it's like going up to a painter who is maybe painting, you know, a vista of the mountains or something, and go, I see you're doing a really good job with these mountains here, you know, that looks great and everything, but and you know, but I think you should really, you know, I don't know, lose these over here and put a fairway through there. I think that would look even better. In fact, I demand you do that. So this way it caters to everybody. This way when people look at it, they see a little bit of the city in there. And then your country people get to see a little bit of the country in there. And this way it includes everybody. Oh, and, you know, put a little bit of a desert over here, because we got to take care of those people who are over in the desert. It's a ridiculous argument. In my opinion, inclusivity does not need to exist in video games. It really doesn't. You know, anybody And technically, if you want to get technical, every game is accessible by everybody, meaning everybody is capable of actually accessing the game and being included in that experience. Nothing is keeping them from doing so other than shelling out the few shekels it requires to actually purchase said game. And of course having something to play it on. But other than that, anybody can go and enjoy the game. So it's really not that important on what they're trying to go with. But also at the same time, it's already been done. Anybody can go pick it up. Just because Barbie isn't made for me with me in mind doesn't mean I can't go and shell the $5 for the shovelware that's in the, bucket at Walmart or whatever store it is that you got. Take it and go home and play it. It's something I can go do. I'm not excluded from it, therefore I'm included in that. I just choose not to be.
With Sekiro, there are a number of things that have never been in a FromSoft game before, like a half-decent tutorial, and a zombie man that encourages you to practice your shinobi techniques. Now, whether or not...
That actually sounds pretty good things for, if you want to do a review, you're reviewing it with other things in mind, tutorial, a thing to practice with. That's actually pretty good thumbs up stuff right there.
Whether or not these inclusions were at the behest of Activision is obviously beyond me, but I feel like it's a step in the right direction.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Anyway.
Anyone should be able to experience these games, and if the answer is an easier difficulty setting or something as simple as an infinite res ability, I'm all for it.
And that there diminishes the game. You can be all for it all you want. You look derpy. I'm sorry. Off topic. I probably don't look much better myself. Anyway. No, that would diminish the game. I'm sorry, it really does. It's one thing to play a game with cheat codes. Back in the day, you had things like the Konami code and other things, and there's different kinds of people who play with cheat codes and stuff. And to be totally honest, I don't care. If you want to play with mods, cheats, cheat devices, whatever, go for it. As long as it's not in a multiplayer setting, I don't really care what you do on your single-player game. I just have a problem when you take it outside. However, to tell the company that they need to somehow set up an easy mode for a game that they didn't really design with an easy mode in mind, that's stupid. That's asinine. That's not something. Gosh, just dark sides. The other game that I'm having another brain block on. Anyway, Dark Souls. Does Dark Souls have an easy mode? I mean, I'm sure it's... I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know. I don't remember. I've never looked in the settings of Dark Souls. And I don't really play enough of it to really go figure it out. But, the company has an artistic vision in mind, and they follow through, build that artistic vision, and then produce a game for you to play. What they do or don't give you is what they decide. So it's one thing to sit there and I guess complain about previous entries into a series having X and then the new one has it taken out. That's one thing, that you can complain about, saying, well, this series, the second game did this, and the third game just completely removes it. Why? What's the point? It's already built, it's already set up, you just gotta pull it from one side to the other now, put it back in, there was no point to exclude it, and it made our lives so much easier. Or whatever, the argument is. But, as far as I know, this game doesn't have anything previous to really judge it by, and we're currently judging it on a previous title by the same company, which honestly isn't very fair to the game itself. But no, adding in an easy mode just so you can finally get past the first mini boss without breaking a sweat diminishes the game itself. It really does. Unless the game has already been designed with that in mind to do it after the fact, it really just diminishes the game itself and the impact that it may have currently or in the future on its players and its fandom.
think Sekiro should have an easy mode because the keyword here is mode. It's optional. It fundamentally would not change the core game for most people, and most people would understand that the core game is the way in which Sekiro is intended to be played.
I'm not gonna lie, she makes a good point. It is a mode, it is something that would be optional, but at the same time, that would be something they would have to do after the fact, because the game's already out. But also at the same time, whether or not they want to devote resources to that, that's totally up on the developer. If they wanted to subtract resources into whatever DLC or whatever else they're working on at this moment so you can have an easy mode, then yeah, that's up to the company. Let's see, what else we got?
Sekiro had an easier mode, but I also recognize that some of the appeal of FromSoft games is exactly how punishingly difficult they are. However, I think it's important to recognize the difference between difficulty and accessibility, and also the idea of difficulty as a whole thing versus little tiny tweaks they could make.
Yeah, okay, anyway.
Like, what if FromSoft put in button cues for when you're dodging attacks? Like, what if it was a little pop-up thing, like you get in like the Arkham game?
Oh, okay. See, Arkham, Batman, completely different game. Completely different series. And essentially what this guy is wanting is that, you know, this thing right here, which is stupid. I mean, for the game itself, it's nice, it's fluid, it works. But for this particular game, you know, adding something like that or time active events just sort of ruins the gameplay. It will fundamentally change the gameplay.
Would that totally break it? Maybe. Some people are going to say yes, but it would be sort of a training wheels to get you in the habit of knowing when to hit the buttons at the right times, short of memorizing a whole bunch of different, you know, parry animations and all that.
Oh, here's an idea. Memorize the damn animations. Seriously, I'm not going to lie. You know, I swear, all these people who complain about video games being too hard, I have to really ask what their age is. I really am curious to know what their ages are. Are they in their early 20s right now, or what? Because, my gosh, if you were gaming back in the 90s and 80s, you want to talk about difficulty. There's a reason why I think Mega Man, the original Mega Man series, was crowned the most difficult gaming series ever created. Somewhere along the way a few years back or something, I don't remember. But anyway, point is, those games were difficult. You didn't have any telegraphs, you didn't have active time events, you didn't have, you know, maps that pointed you in the right direction. But anyway, be totally honest, this game isn't as hard as some of the other games that have come before it. There should not be an easy mode. But let's take a look at this, shall we? This is a disabled quadriplegic who shows why it doesn't need an easy mode. It's even got a thing down here. People saying this game is too hard and want an easy mode. I even saw one post using disabled people with proof motor functions as an excuse for an easy mode. So here is the corrupted monk done by a quadriplegic. So let's get in here for a second. Look at this. This guy can't even hold the controller like, you know, somebody who's not a quadriplegic, and he's still playing the game. Still doing it. And IGN and other journalists, the journalists, gaming journalists, want to sit there and say, we need an easy mode because it's too hard. Come on. This guy's got you beat. Links, by the way, are in the description. And here, we have a blind gamer.
Across here.
I'll have his link down in the comments below as well. Or the description.
There's my chest. Now, I know I'm going to this kind of fast, but I've done this several times, so I hope it makes sense.
Yeah, dude is playing the game blind, for Christ's sake. Come on. There are people out here who really want a game, who are disabled, who are still able to go and play the game and enjoy it.
Okay, now I can also use Navia's help. As I turn around, she made that noise. I know she's ready for me to target something. So I can target, take it out, and shoot it. Found the ladder that time. Through the door.
Yeah, that's just amazing. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Until then, I will talk to you later. See ya.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.